Manufacturing companies have relied on job shadowing and traditional training practices for too long. As a result, some of the most valuable information to businesses is trapped in the heads of a select few employees. This is tribal knowledge, valuable information that is accumulated through informal channels that remains undocumented and isolated from the rest of the organization. So what kind of information constitutes tribal knowledge? Speaking broadly, an organization's knowledge is split up into two camps: explicit knowledge and implicit knowledge. While there is certainly a gray area between definitions, the main distinctions revolve around how the knowledge was formed and how easily the knowledge can be transferred. Explicit knowledge is concrete and typically exists in traditional forms, such as documents, records, and reports. This knowledge is easy to store and pass between people. Implicit knowledge is more difficult to communicate because it is accrued through experience, in-person training, or mentorship. Think of personal stories, technical skills, and intuition-based learnings. When any knowledge remains in the heads of individuals, tribal knowledge forms. This accumulates naturally in every workplace. However, when communications between teams, shifts, or locations becomes isolated, tribal knowledge is a danger to your operations. Best practices are left siloed rather than shared as a group asset. Many companies have already felt the costs of tribal knowledge. As experts retire, they take their knowledge with them. Resistance to capturing tribal knowledge comes from employees due to fear of ownership being taken away. But capturing tribal knowledge is about empowering and inspiring confidence in every employee. Using modern tools, leaders can use experts to build foundational knowledge and then tap into the collective workforce to improve standards. Listen to Operational Technology Manager Mike Mullenberg describe how 3M captured tribal knowledge of a particular employee.
One of my favorite stories is working with a gentleman that we knew there was something. We knew he had some knowledge, and we found out that he had a kind of a secret 3-ring binder in his locker. And he finally brought it out and said, I'll let you look at this, but you can't have it. It's got to go back in my locker. He was very, very protective. And so I quickly actually scanned it, the pages of it, into a digital format, and spent a day or so building, a digital version of that. And there was one process in particular. It was about 12 steps. It was a critical changeover. And we brought some new people in to go through that standard and try it out. And what we found is there was a lot of questions. It was a great foundation. I'm sure the guy that wrote it, even though he had made notes on it and everything and scribbled on it, and the document was actually 12 years old, but it had been updated with a Sharpie a few times. But there were many, many questions that came up during the training, and those new operators contributed to the new standards. So by the end, we had complete set of photos, videos. It turned out to be a 26-step guide. It was a little more complicated than what the original guy thought. But boy, within 48 hours, we had a really great foundation for this process that anybody now that comes in after is going to have a running start.
Capturing tribal knowledge is an opportunity to leverage the experience of your best employees and empower your entire workforce. Thanks for watching. For more industry tips and insights, visit the Dazuki blog.